It's homecoming night tonight at Champlin Park High School as CCX presents coverage of Metro District football. It's the Roseville Raiders coming to Brooklyn Park to take on the Champlin Park Rebels. Hello and welcome to the first Friday night in October. John Jacobson along with Ryan Iverson and Allie Arlton. Ryan, Roseville comes in 4-1, Champlin Park 3-2. You get to week 6 of the season, you're going to have some injuries, and both of these coaches have been dealing with that in the last couple of weeks.
Well, and that's the unfortunate aspect of playing football, John. We've seen it all the way at the NFL level down to high school football. And really it comes down to, as a coach, how do you prepare your team, right? How do you get the next guy up to speed? Do you change the playbook to kind of mesh with their talents and their skills? And you kind of just, mix and match to get your best players on the field. And you want to get your best players a chance to impact the football game. So we got two great coaches here tonight, two very, very well-coached teams. So even though they both have injuries, I expect it to be a well-played game.
These teams have not played a lot against each other throughout their history. They have played, but it's been a while, so not a lot of familiarity as far as going head-to-head against each other, like Champlin Park, for instance, might have against an Anoka or Roseville against a Mountain View. So that's a little bit of a different element as you come into play tonight.
Well, it's always kind of fun, too, as a player. You're playing a school that you don't know anyone. It's kind of that unknown. But with nowadays, John, and the technology that these schools have available, they can watch every game for the last 3 or 4 years. So I can rest assured both teams are very prepared. They know what the other players and the other teams are trying to run. But that's where the element of injury can work in your advantage, because maybe you do change the playbook now to fit certain personnel. So it's a little bit unknown, but it's also really fun as a player, too.
Let's look at our key players, starting with the Raiders. Zach Andrade, good player for them, and a two-way starter for the Raiders as well.
And he's a phenomenal running back, but he also makes an impact as safety, too, on defense. But he was actually a little bit overweight last year, lost some weight, got in great football shape. He's averaging over 8 yards per carry, so that's almost a first down every time he touches it. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns, but he's also a threat out of the backfield to catch the ball, too. He's got 2 receiving touchdowns, so he does a little bit of everything, and it's such an asset to have that you can give a guy a ball and almost get a first down every time he touches it. So tonight, Champlin Park's got to do their best to contain him.
For Champlin Park, we'll look at one of their defensive players and perhaps their best defender, senior defensive end Thomas Zinna.
Well, yeah, and Zinna, well, you talked about containing, right? Well, he's going to be a big part of that. He's a defensive end. He's got great size, but he's got great speed, John. And he leads their team in tackles for loss. He's got to play on the offensive side of the football. He's got to beat his guy, apply pressure. Roseville's got great balance between running and throwing the football, but you can't throw if you don't have time. So he's going to be a big part of that, getting to the quarterback and disrupting in the backfield.
It rained all afternoon, but it has stopped for now. We'll hope that continues throughout the evening. We will take a break, come back, and kick this one off. Roseville Champlin Park football coming up next, live here on CCX. Welcome back to Champlin Park High School, Champlin Park and Roseville for prep football. Week 6, Ryan, one more Friday night football and then the NBA Wednesday, and then the regular season is over. Let's go down to the sideline now and Allie Arlt.
All right, guys, all week the weather predictions were that at this time for game start, it would be nothing but heavy downpours. If you look around, the skies have cleared. It is currently dry, but those downpours came earlier today, and they did a number on this field. And what a number to happen on a day where Roseville comes in and plays their first and only grass game of the year. Coach Simdorn saying that all throughout practice this week, they have practiced on grass practice fields, but that they can work on cuts and breakdowns, but with this added rain and muddy field, that those cuts and breakdowns are going to look a lot more like slips and fall downs. Both coaches agree that this field tonight will play a factor in how this game plays out. But you know what? It's going to get muddy. It's homecoming. That's when it's fun to get dirty. We'll see if it stays dry, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Allie. And Ryan, you didn't play that many years ago, but you played at a time where everybody was still playing on grass for high school. What do you remember about nights like this when it's been raining during the day, maybe not so much during the game, but you're getting a little later in the season, soccer teams using the field, football, and you have less than ideal conditions on the field?
Well, when it's slippery out, John, you worry as a defensive player too, because the offense always knows where they're trying to go. Defensively, you're going to fall down, and what it ends up doing is making you a little bit more cautious. You're not as quick to the ball. You're worried about that slip. So you really got to get back to fundamentals, breaking down on the tackle, getting your balance, getting that good core muscles ready to fire. But I always think too, when it's raining out like this, it means lots of turnovers, right? Lots of fumbles. So all the little things, the center exchanges, snaps, all that stuff's really important.
Micah Gassaway keeps his kick on the ground. It's picked at the 25 and returned out to about the 34-yard line, where Champlin Park will start its first drive of the game. Devin Gray, their short yardage back, took that return, brought it out about 9 yards. And so Champlin Park will start just right at the 35-yard line.
Oh, I love that first play, too. You got a big hit right off the spot. Number 7 for Roseville, Zarzar, just met him right at the line there, moved him backwards. So I'm looking for some good hit, and there's a look at a quarterback, not by necessarily design, too, John.
Joey Folds, who came in late last season in that Eden Prairie playoff game and played quarterback and has had to become the quarterback this year. Bennett Otto now out for the season. He was their projected starter as a junior this year, but he's been unable to go with a back injury. He will not return. And Trayvon Cahalan's out for the year. There's outstanding starting left tackle. We got a gain on 4 yards for Ernest Wardlow on his first carry of the night. And he'll be a guy they definitely need to carry the load this evening. But in Roseville dealing with this news too. And Coach Simdorn talking with us about losing some outstanding players, including Christian Hurd, a good two-way player, Jake Dingy, a tackle. So you just got to deal with it and move on and try to put your best foot forward with the guys you have.
Well, I'll tell you why I love Ernest Wardlow is right there. There's 2 great carries. Here's contact right at the line of scrimmage, and it looks like it's a 0, maybe a 1-yard gain. Instead, he fires forward, got 8 yards and 2 carries. He's one of those guys, he's big and powerful, and he always keeps his legs moving. As a young running back, if you're watching this game tonight, watch how he stays low and just keeps those legs moving, always fighting for that extra yard.
3rd and 2 for the Rebels from their 43-yard line. Folds from the shotgun. And he'll keep it. He's got a first down and more into Roseville territory. He's got good speed down the right side, inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line before they finally brought down by Reggie Morrow.
Yeah, and you can see they're running the option here, and you can see it look like Roseville's taking away that pitch, not wanting Worslow to get that ball. And when you're running the option, you got to make quick decisions, and Folds that time did it. And make no mistake, he's a decent thrower of the football, but he's a really good runner of the football. 350 yards coming into this game, 4 rushing touchdowns. So he is a definite threat to run the football.
You look at Mike Corton, 14th year as head coach, was an assistant under head coach Tim Herman for many years before that, just the second head coach they've had in the 26 years now of Champlin Park football. Wardlow gets the call on first down and 10 and gets only a yard this time. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Folds has picked up 29 on that run. So with a good start on this first drive for the Rebels. They have a 2nd and 9 from the Raiders' 27.
Again, you saw number 7, Zarzar, coming in. Nice penetration, getting to Worslow's feet there in the backfield. Still able to get a yard, but winning first down is so critical, John, really for both of these teams.
Folds, looks left, it's intercepted. And this is going to go for a touchdown. Morrow made the tackle on Folds. Takes this one all the way back for a score.
Well, you and I talked in the pregame, John, about these teams not knowing each other, but watching film, right? And that's just a well-coached play. And you can see right off the bat here, Morrow knows that play's coming. He reads his cue, that quick throw, and he steps right in front of it. And that's just a gift. That's an early Christmas present right there for Morrow. An easy catch and a nice, easy jaunt in. That's how you want to start the game when you're on the road in these kind of conditions.
70-yard interception return for a score to put the Raiders up 6-0. The extra point pending.
And it's such a game of momentum, right, John? I mean, Champlin Park, a couple of really nice plays, moving down the field. And just like that, there's a blocked field goal or a blocked extra point. Which, how many times do you see that extra point come into play later in these kind of games? But just a great play by Morrow, and you could tell he knew that play was coming. And that's coaching, that's preparation, and then the third part of that is execution. Reading your keys, stepping up, and he just made a great football play. And if you're Champlin Park right now, you're thinking, okay, that was one play. We just got a little momentum back. We blocked the extra point. We were moving the football. We don't have to change anything. And again, that's where maybe a wet field and a wet ball, you can't grip it quite as well. You don't get enough on that throw. Let's see if Champlin Parks, just kind of maintains the ground attack here, where they had really good success with.
There's a look at Chris Simdorn. Mike Horton's been here at Champlin Park a long time. Chris Simdorn, 17th year as head coach at Roseville. He was an outstanding player back in the day. The Harlan Hill Trophy winner in North Dakota State for the most outstanding player in Division II back in 1990. Led that team to the national championship.
Well, we joked a few years ago, John, you and I did a game when he had Jacques Pera, one of the best quarterbacks. And I asked Jacques who the best quarterback was. He said probably Coach Simdorn still. But he's still in shape, and he was a competitor, a wonderful quarterback.
Another short kick, and again, Champlin Park will get it out past their 35-yard line. And so they'll start their second drive. They had 4 rushes on that first drive until the interception for the score by Morrow.
Well, and it's always a chess game. So if you're Champlin Park, I'm thinking, okay, they know that quick throw's coming. What's the next step in that play call? Is a fake on that, and you try to hit them over the top, perchance. So it's always about adjustments. What teams, are reacting to what adjustments do you make? And if I'm Champlin Park here, I get back on the ground. I try to just pound the rock until Roseville shows that they're going to be able to stop that.
Gahn comes in motion, lines up now at the end of the line on the left side. Folds will run, steps inside of Morrow, and only gets another yard or two, or is brought down by Zarzar.
I'll tell you what, number 7, Zarzar, he is all over the field. Watch him coming down the line. And again, you see that kind of slower cuts, John. That's because that field is wet. But there was an opening there, and Zarzar just hustling down the line. That's the pursuit drill you do every day in practice. Nice tackle.
Gain of a couple, second down and 8. Folds, option right, and steps out to the 40-yard line. Zach Andrade, outstanding running back and defensive back, we talked about the pregame, makes the stop. It'll be third down and 5.
Well, and obviously you want to score first always, but when you get a defensive touchdown like that, it's really a shot in the arm, not only for defense, but your special teams, your offense. It just lifts everybody up. And that's why that's such a big play. And you put a little bit of doubt, too, into Joey Folds' mind. A little hesitation maybe on his next throw.
Wanting to throw here, now swings it out. And Wardlow steps inside of a would-be tackler, Morrow, and it'll be turned sideways at the 44-yard line and drop short of the first down. Kel Martin on the stop for the Raiders.
Well, look at how many white jerseys it takes to bring him down. There's 3-4 Roseville defenders, and Wardlow, even though he came up short, he was fighting for that. And this is that kind of interesting thing. We talked to Coach Corton about at midfield, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, because of the snap, because of the weather, do you end up going for it? and it looks like he is sending the punt team out.
Peyton Oy, who had one over his head on a snap in a TV game we did a couple of weeks ago. This one, I called it. I didn't want to call it. And back at the 15.
Throw it away. Throw it away.
And he's going to be dropped back at the 12. That one cost them a safety in that game. This one cost them dearly on field position. It'll be first down and 10 at the 12.
So a couple of things here. One is, as a punter and as a holder, you got to realize you can throw that ball away and it can be an incomplete pass. That would have put the ball back at the 48. Secondly, if Roseville doesn't get that defensive touchdown, John, do you think Coach Corton goes for it there?
Yeah,
playing a little more defensive now. Hey, we got an early lead. We can't give up short field on this. So it's just such a play of, different plays could change the total outlook of a game.
Officially goes as a 32-yard loss as Luke Bouchard runs out and brings this Roseville offense onto the field. Andrade, left side, trying to cut it back up inside now and gets inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line before he's brought down.
Yeah, it's a nice play, too. You got a little pre-snap motion, so you get Andrade, who's got good speed with his momentum already going. And really the key is Champlin Park's got to really set that edge. They can't let that ball get outside. They did a nice job there. And again, though, even though that was, I'd say, a win for Champlin Park, it's a 5-yard gain on first down.
Second down for the Raiders. And the give inside. Brendan McMillan gets the carry and a couple more yards closer to that first down. Brought down by Vinny Lamberty.
I'll tell you, Roseville's got great balance, John. Balance not only between running and passing, but also with just their running backs. Andrade, 253 yards. McMillan, who just got that ball, 251 yards. Both averaging 7 or 8 yards per carry, too. So they got a nice 1-2 punch. It makes it really hard to prepare for when you don't know who's getting the ball.
And we get a timeout taken by Roseville. Comes with just under 6 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. 6-0 Raiders lead, and Roseville threatening for more here, facing a 3rd down and 4 from the Champlin Park 8.
I think a lot of people would think, why do you take a timeout this early in the game? But I think Coach Simdorn, recognizing 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, we have a chance maybe to just suck the air and the life right out of this team while we're on the road. I want to make sure we're in the ideal play call. Maybe talking it over with his guys, getting some input. I think good coaches do that. They get input from their linemen, from their quarterback, their running backs. What are you seeing? How are they slanting? What kind of upfield charge are they getting? And you use that to your advantage. So I like the timeout. You want to make sure you put your team in the best play possible here, because if you pick up the first down and you're able to punch it in here, to take a 2-score lead this early on the road, I think any coach would take that.
3rd and 4 for the Raiders. Luke Bouchard. Andrade in motion. Bouchard carrying forward, trying to fight for that first down, and second effort gets very close. I don't think he got it. It'll be 4th down, but less than a yard to go.
Yeah, and a nice job by Champlin Park there. You can see Bouchard just fighting. He's a big kid too, 6'4", over 200 pounds, fighting for that first down. He's going to be about a yard short.
4th down for Roseville. Going for it inside the Champlin Park 5. And keeping it as Bouchard. He's got a first down, driving toward the end zone. It'll be marked short at the 2. It'll be 1st and goal Raiders from the Champlin Park 2.
Nice push by that offensive line of the Raiders. You see, looked like Bouchard tried to reach that ball over the goal line. Watch the ball. Watch his arm go up in the air right there. You can see he was trying to reach that ball up. That's a dangerous play, because if it gets batted out, you don't have a good grip on it. But either way, it's going to set up 1st and goal here from, it looks like, about the 2-yard line.
Andrade in motion. This time he'll get the ball, and he's in for a touchdown.
you can see the speed, the quickness of Andrade. That's his 5th rushing touchdown on the year. And again, they put him in motion, so he's got his full head of steam going right there. That's a tough offense because the timing with the out of the shotgun has to be absolutely perfect, John, to get that ball and hand it off as he's coming. But if your defensive end, defensive tackle can't get up the field to contain there, and he's allowed to get outside, getting a couple yards is pretty easy. He's going to score that every time.
Galloway got this kick up, but he missed it to the left. So 2 failed extra points for Roseville. The only negative really for the Raiders so far in the first 7 minutes of play.
I feel like I'm watching Tampa Bay from last night, right? You can see kicking. It's not easy to do at the NFL level all the way down to the high school level, and you throw in a wet ball too, and it's not easy. And you wonder why more teams don't just go for it and get the 2. You can see that was only about a foot or 2 wide, but at least he got it up in the air. Their last kick was very low. But I think Chris Simdorn, you told him you're going to be up 12-0, midway through the first quarter on the road against a very good football team. He'd take it all day long. And this is where your leaders, right? If you're Champlin Park, your seniors got to come up together and say, hey, let's bring the energy level up. We're still in there. You got to get that. You got to get a big play back so you get the momentum going on your side.
Line drive kick. Austin Gore took it, and he gets popped as he gets to the 40-yard line. Boy, that was a hit.
Yeah, DeJohn Hall, number 37. Watch him come from the bottom of our screen right there. And nice legal hit. He just got those arms extended, and that's a couple of nice hits on kickoff coverage.
Champlin Park back on the field for their 3rd series and trailing 12-0. Three receivers to the right as Hansen comes in motion to the left. Folds looking that way, throws, gets the completion. Yeah, C. Gahn gets the catch, and he's wrestled out at the 46-yard line. A good first down gain of 7 yards for the Rebels.
Yep, and a nice quick throw for Folds there. No pressure on it. He stepped into his throw. That ball didn't hang in the air at all. That was a nice velocity. And it's a good throw for a number of reasons. One, it's a big gain on first down, but 2, it kind of gets Folds back his confidence a little bit. Maybe not tentative after that early interception.
Trey Lee next to Folds. There comes to his left. And they give us to Wardlow, and he is hit by a wall and driven back. John Hall among those waiting for him at the line of scrimmage.
So it's interesting. Roseville, John, they're running a 3-4 defense, meaning they have 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, and it just looks like those linebackers are getting to the line of scrimmage before anyone is able to get a body on them. And when you're running 4 linebackers and they have good speed, that can be really hard to attack.
Reggie Morrow also in on that stop. It's 3rd and 2. Wardlow in motion. Folds, roll out right. Throws, gets the completion. It's a first down. Broken tackle and out to the 44-yard line of Roseville. And a first down for Champlin Park.
Well, nice play design here. They get a nice rollout to the right, an easy throw, not a hard throw, and then some nice yards after that contact.
Jay Vang on the catch.
And that's a big first down, right? You got a shorter field, a little bit more momentum, a little confidence. So I think if you're Champlin Park, that was a huge first down pickup.
Gain of 8 to the 44 of Roseville. Pitch to Wardlow, trying to cut. Morrow got a piece of him and Zuri Zarjar helps finish him off.
So what Morlow did there, John, is what Champlin needs to do on defense. You can see he did not allow Worslow to get outside, right? You see Worslow had to cut it back to the middle, and he knows he's got his inside linebackers sprinting down the line, and they're right there for a loss of 1. I mean, that's hard to do against Ernest Worslow, who's fast and strong and powerful. That's just a really, really nice play defensively.
2nd and 11. Folds roll out right. He'll keep it this time, and it'll be spun down at the 41-yard line. Big number 66, Will Peterson on stop. No, that was Dane Ray.
Well, this is that option to the right, and you can see Andrade, number 1, right there in the top of your screen. He elects to take Worslow on that. And really the best plays they've had is Folds keeping it on that option to the right. And they picked up 5-6 yards on that play.
That was right the first time. It was Will Peterson. It's
he's their leading tackler, too.
264 pounds. Big kid. Gain of 5 there. Here's Folds. A screen play on the pass to Worslow. Oh, and he's bumped down and knocked down at the 41 for no gain.
Kel Martin on the big hit. But look at that play. You can see number 37 right there. Dejon Hall doesn't allow Worslow to get outside again. He's got to cut it back to the middle, and just great pursuit from the inside guys. Right now, defensively, you know, the majority of touchdowns, all the way at youth level, all the way up to the high school level, are when you allow speed to get outside. And tonight, Roseville's done an excellent job of not allowing it. 4th down, a short field. I like the call here going for it.
On 4th and 7, Folds rolls out, fires over the middle, and completion for a first down to Trey Carlson. Down to the 30-yard line of Roseville, and a pickup of 11 yards.
You can see same play they ran last time on 3rd and short there when they roll him out to the right. Folds got plenty of time, and I think because he's a running threat too, the defense has to come up a little bit. He's patient and able to find an open receiver there. Nice job too by Carlson, making sure he got the first down.
1st and 10, Folds goes to the air, it's intercepted. Andrade with the pick. Stepped in front of the intended receiver, Vang, and picked it off.
Big time play by Andrade, but I want you to watch your screen here. There was actually there was a receiver, they were running it in and an out. And that time Folds made the wrong read. He threw it to the guy breaking to the outside. And an easy play for Andrade to step in front of it. And again, kind of a slower throw, right? You see that ball hang in the air. His best throws are when he's able to step in, get some velocity on it. You know, and that's where, too, if the guy's not open, you just keep it. And if you take a loss or throw it out of bounds, you live to fight another day.
First down run goes to McMillan. Brendan McMillan's 2nd run today only gains him a yard out to the 42-yard line. Sir William Humphrey, the last off the bottom of the pile for Champlin Park.
Well, this is where Champlin Park, they need someone defensively to step up and make a big play. You know, a fumble, an interception, a big hit, something to just get them to believe, get them excited, get them back in this game.
First down, handoff up the middle. It's a first down run into Champlin Park territory and down inside the 45-yard line. Victor Yang on the carry brings it down to the Rebels 42. And a nice pickup of 17 yards by Yang.
Yeah, great play call, too. You had Andrade going in motion. Looked like he was going to get it to the left, and you counter it back with Yang. And you can see Champlin over-pursued there, following Andrade, and just a nice job of that offensive line.
Bouchard throwing downfield. His receiver got tangled up with the defensive back, and it goes incomplete. And the snap came back to Bouchard. Missed it there, but it came back a little sooner than he was expecting.
Well, he did a nice job just catching it, right? And not only that, but getting composed and threw it up top. There certainly looked to be contact downfield, but I think the referees maybe are ruling that ball was uncatchable anyways.
Bouchard's first throw today. It's 2nd down and 10.
Well, and they haven't needed to throw, and they really normally are very, very well balanced. They average 161 yards passing per game, 187 rushing. But when you're up 2 scores and you're moving the ball on the ground, especially in wet conditions, but you got to still always have that threat to throw the ball. You keep the defense off.
Andrade breaks a tackle and then gets hit hard and driven down. Blaze Phobie on the tackle after a gain of 5 yards, and that will be the final play here of the first quarter. A great start for the Roseville Raiders coming on the road, and they lead Champlin Park 12-0 after 1. Take time out, come back with more prep football live here on CCX in just a moment.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
John Jacobson with Ryan Iverson and Allie Arlt. We have played 1 quarter on a cool Friday evening, but dry for now. The field's not dry.
See, I'd much rather have this with a little wet and a little muddy, but the temperature's in the 50s or 60s than that. I remember playing when it was 2 below 0 and your fingers hurt. That field feels like concrete. So we've had pretty good temperatures and pretty good weather here for football.
3rd down for Roseville as we start the second quarter. They're at the 37 of Champlin Park. Bouchard, nice big hole up the middle. He's got a first down still on his feet and carries it all the way down. 27. Ball is loose, and Champlin Park has recovered.
That's exactly what they needed, John. A big play, getting the ball back. What would have been a sure first down. Just a really nice play call. You can see it fighting for extra yards there with that wet ball. You get that ball in your hands, and that's a smart job by the defense. They're knocking it free and getting on it.
Junior Hayden Carr comes up with the fumble recovery for Champlin Park.
Well, he just gave his offense the keys to the car right now. A big play, stopping the momentum. The question is, John, can Champlin Park's offense now capitalize on it? I always like, after a big play like that, taking a shot here right away. See if you can get another big play. So you got back-to-back momentum plays.
First turnover of the ninth for Roseville. Champlin Park has had 2. Hand off. Wardlow makes a nice cut at the line of scrimmage and spins out of bounds at the 33, but he's got a first down.
You know what's so impressive, too, when you watch him is, like a play like that, he still didn't go down. Watch this contact. Very well blocked there by the Rebels. Look at that hole. And he's got speed, but watch him finish. You see his legs. He's always got good balance. Had he not been out of bounds, he would have been able to keep going. He just runs with a reckless abandon. I love watching him run.
There's run for him tonight. First down and 10 from the Rebels 33. They'll get the call again. Bouncing outside 35, lowers his head at the 40. Still on his feet at the 45 or the 47-yard line before Peterson brings him down.
He looks like a bowling ball bouncing off a bunch of white jerseys. Watch this. You can see Andrade falls down. And that was the key. But look at him finish that run. Lowers his shoulder. I would not. It's guys like that that make me happy that I'm calling games now instead of having to tackle that, because that would leave you sore. The way he finishes.
Excuse me. He stepped out of bounds, though, back at the 41, so he didn't get credit for all that. An 8-yard gain, and it's 2nd down and 2. We'll get the call again. Stays low. And close to a first down. So it might be 3rd and just a little bit short, or maybe close enough where they're going to measure here.
Judging by the marker, it looks like it should be about a half a yard to a yard short. Doesn't it, John?
Yeah.
Just by where they're standing. But hey, I like the calls here. Champlin just going to 3 straight I formation, power running. Give it to your best running back and let him do his thing. And even if he is short here, it's going to set up a 3rd and very manageable.
A little less than a foot, maybe.
It's another down and distance, too, that it's a great time to take a shot. If you're not gun shy with your quarterback, even though he's got the 2 interceptions, you run a play action, you get everyone diving into the line of scrimmage. Do you take a shot, or do you just say, hey, we're going to quarterback sneak this and get the first down? You can see they got a power formation in right now.
And Folds will hand off, and Gray, their short yardage back, and he moves the pile all the way out to midfield and picks up 7 yards and a first down.
That's like an old wishbone formation, and you get 2, besides your linemen, 2 big guys leading the way, and Gray just moving that pile, keeping those legs moving. I will tell you, Champlin Park, maybe better than any other school, their running backs do not quit. I mean, they are constantly keeping those legs moving, constantly fighting for that extra yard or 2.
First down and 10, Rebels right from midfield. Folds will hand off on first down to Wardlow, and he is tackled by Andrade and Peterson after a pickup of 3. Already the 10th carry for Ernest Wardlow in the first half.
And you figure he's going to get a lot of carries on a wet night like this. And what I like, too, is Champlin Park is not overreacting to being down by 12. Sometimes you'll see teams get down early and they feel like they got to get it all back right away, and it snowballs into another turnover. They're just methodically moving down the field right now, and there's plenty of game left for them to do that.
Second down and 7. Looks like the line may have moved a little bit, and that'll be our first penalty tonight.
And those are the things that kill you, right? You got such good momentum. And the thing is, they've been winning first and second down, and they've been setting up 3rd and short. And here you had 2nd and 5, and now you go back to 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. It just becomes a lot more daunting. And it limits your play calls, too, because you know you got to get a good chunk of it here right now.
Rebels back at their 48, now on 2nd and 12. Play action, Folds, slips as he throws. Still nearly had the completion. Flag comes out late. Intended for gone.
You can see that field right there on our replay. Excellent camera where you can see there's mud and dirt and holes. It's a legal man downfield. So again, when you got a pass play, for those of you at home, your linemen cannot go downfield. And that's what they're going to get. I think they're going to get number 58, Langford. Or 80, I don't know what, I couldn't read what he said, but it was someone illegally downfield. What'll be interesting here is does Roseville decline the penalty and keep it 3rd and long, or do they move it back even further to go 2nd and even longer?
Simdorn says decline the penalty, so it'll be 3rd and 12.
And we talk about, Allie had a great point talking about the grass and the wet field. And there you could see Folds just slipping, right? He went to plant, unable to complete that ball. And so it does impact you, and you're thinking about it. And anytime you have to think as a player about more things like that, it slows you down, even just for a split second.
3rd and 12. Hansen in motion to the left. Folds has time. Steps into his throw. Downfield and almost intercepted. Well defended by Victor Yang, knocking it down. And it's 4th down.
Lots of time for Folds. I just think that ball hung in the air a little bit too long. Right down center field there. You can see a number of white jerseys. And a smart play, too, by Yang. Rather than intercept that 35, 40 yards downfield, make Champlin Park punt the ball where they've had issues with their snapping, especially with these conditions. So really heads-up play by the senior, Victor Yang.
Timeout, Roseville.
Chris Simdorn on the sideline there showing off his old collegiate speed, running to the referee to get a timeout. You can see they had 12 guys on the field trying to get their 12th guy off. He didn't want to take any chances.
Roseville with one loss on the season coming in. That was against Eastridge, a team that Champlin Park beat in week 1. Rebels with losses to St. Michael, Albertville, and Blaine, both on the road.
Yeah, really both programs. I mean, losing to Blaine and STMA on the road, those are good losses. Those are really good teams. And you could say the same with Roseville, losing to Eastridge in a really close game. You know, both of these teams are set up, if they can get healthy and execute to have potentially playoff type runs again. Of course, Champlin Park coming off a state semifinal appearance last year.
Roy back to punt it away. Good snap this time, and does get the kick off. Fair caught at the 23-yard line. That's where Roseville will take over. Max Sandin on the fair catch.
That's a big relief.
Right.
For Champlin Park. A great snap, a really nice punt. Go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say the Raiders' offense this time, its worst starting position tonight. They're at the back of their 23.
Yeah, and you got to think about it, too. They were really in field position there to score on that last fumble that they had. And, Champlin right now with the short field defensively, can they get after and make another play and give their offense another spark here, maybe give them a short field?
Luke Bouchard, the senior quarterback, takes a big hit, and he's driven back to the 22-yard line.
That was just great penetration up the field. Look at that form tackle. Just a beautiful tackle. I think that was Lamberty. Yeah, I mean, that's how you tackle. Head up, shoulder pad squared up, nice and low, and drove him backwards. Beautiful play. Nice job by the middle linebacker, too, just reading that. And so many linebackers, too, I watched, John, at all levels. They wait back for the ball carrier to get to them. And that time, Lamberty did a nice job of coming forward and meeting him right at the line of scrimmage. Excellent play.
Second down and 11. Swings a pass out to the left. And only a very short gain on the completion to Andrade. Rebels ready for it and able to make the catch. Taj Turner on the stop. Hayden Carr there, a friend. And they stop him for a loss, or rather a gain. A short gain of just 4 yards. Will be 3rd and 7.
Yep, nice quick throw. And again, you can just see Andrade such a threat wherever he is on the field. And here's a nice replay. Good quick throw, but just really well defended. You could see a nice job, too, by number 11, Tolentino, not allowing Andrade to get outside. Again, forcing it back to the middle where he had help.
Striking a throw to Andrade over the middle. It's a first down out to the 40-yard line.
You can see a nice throw by Bouchard there. Got a nice height, 6'4". Watch him step into this. Boom, and just a bullet pass. And almost tipped, too. That's not an easy throw between 3 Rebel defenders. And that's where, if you're Chris Simdorn, you got to feel so confident. You got a senior who's started a lot of games for you that you can trust putting the ball in his hands. And he's got an arm like that. Nice pickup on 3rd down.
Third first down of the half. Another completion, 3 in a row here. Bouchard this time getting it out to Graves. Ronnie Graves picks up 5.
Yeah, and again, pretty easy throw. A longer throw to the sideline, but, very soft defense on the outside. And again, there's that balance that we talked about. Roseville, excellent balance between running and throwing the football. And if anything, you soften that defense up a little bit, and now you come back with that running game. It's just a nice 1-2 punch that they have to be able to throw the ball and run the ball.
Bouchard will follow his back McMillan into the hole and pick up a couple of yards, but they'll be shy of the first down by a yard. 3rd and closer to 2 for a first.
But just a safe play call, right? Quick snap. They had 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right that time. and he doesn't waste any time. He goes right at the soft part of the Champlin defense there. And Champlin, to their credit, did a nice job defending and not letting Bouchard get that much of a push. But again, third and manageable right at midfield.
Line of scrimmage, the Roseville 48. He'll keep it, and he'll spin for a first down. Couple of yards for the senior.
Right there.
And moves the sticks.
Yeah, that was some good contact. I think the first contact on that play was Zinna. And you can see he got to Bouchard in the backfield, but a nice spin move. And, it wasn't much, but it allowed him to extend his body forward, and that was enough for the first down.
From midfield, past the midway point of the second quarter now. Raiders up by 2 scores. Throw by Bouchard to the sidelines. Got a first down at the 35-yard line of Champlin Park. Yvonne Motley with his first catch tonight.
And he's their leading receiver coming into the game, 284 yards receiving. And again, a strong throw. That was thrown off of 1 foot by Bouchard, just showing his arm strength. I thought he was going to go to his running back there in the flat, but instead powered it forward and just really accurate too. Excellent throw and catch.
Gain of 16 yards.
When you can see, John, when you have that kind of balance, it's hard to stop, right? You soften up and you just have the feeling they're going to come back to that quick running game here.
And they do. It's McMillan jumping outside, coming back to the middle. He's inside the 30 of the 29-yard line. Rebels say they've got the football. Zinna's got it.
He did.
And he does.
He doesn't have a helmet, but he's got a football. I was just about to say, what footwork, too, by McMillan. Let's see if we can see when that ball came out. Oh, you can see right there.
Zinna
what a play by
right
Zinna.
away.
He was coming over with his one hand. Watch his left arm, number 44. Right there. He just ripped it right out of him. And not only did he rip it out, John, but he actually just held on to it. What a play. God, we must know what we're talking about when we highlighted him for a player to watch in the pregame. That was an unbelievable football play. And again, a big turnover by this defense, giving the ball back to their offense. Let's see if Champlin Park can get something going offensively.
Folds will pitch it. Wardlow slipped a little bit. He's got a big hole. He's into the open. Midfield of 40. There's a flag down in the offensive backfield. He fumbles at the end of the play. It looked like Roseville might have got it at the 25. That's their way they're pointing. Would have been a gain of about 45. There may have been a penalty on the play, we think. It's Roseville football.
And I think it was going to come back either way because of a hold. You can see right there. But a nice job on the option. You can see Warzel showing his speed off. And it looked like he just dropped it here. It didn't look like there was a whole lot of contact. Yeah, you can see. Almost looked like his own man might have gotten a piece of that ball. We talked about wet football, wet games like this. The ball's going to be on the ground a lot. Back-to-back plays with turnovers. Roseville's defense does its job getting the ball back to their offense.
1st and 10 for Roseville, back to the 25. 5:13 to go in the first half. Raiders down to just 1 timeout remaining. Not that that's a factor right now, but they had another possession later before the half. It could come into play.
Well, really just time of possession. It just feels like Roseville has dominated the game offensively.
Bouchard roll out, now step up. Fires, that's intercepted. It's picked off by Lamberty.
Nice.
3 plays, 3 turnovers.
Well, I kept saying, John, the defense for Champlin Park's got to do something to make that big play. What the difference is now with that interception by Lamberty, he's put his offense in a very, very good field position here. You can see stepped up, just a nice job. Lamberty just stepped right in front of it. Nice play. And it gets a really nice return, too. Ball's going to be placed, I think, right about the 16, 17-yard line. That's a big play, big momentum for Champlin Park.
1st and 10 from the Raiders' 16-yard line.
I'm going to call it now, John. No turnover on this play.
The handoff is to Lee. And his bold prediction pays off. Gain of 1, but no turnover.
Well, I like what both teams are doing. They're tackling, they're gang tackling, and whoever's coming in second, third to that pile, they're ripping at that football. And that's exactly what they should be doing anyways, but you compound it with a wet ball, wet field. And you can see a number of balls have been on the ground here early in this game.
2nd and 9 from the 15 of Roseville. 4.5 minutes to play first half. Folds will keep up the middle, inside the 10, drives down to the 9-yard line. A gain of 6. Gonna bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, nice cut by Folds there. You see him cut back to his left and turned it right upfield. I always tell running backs, quarterbacks, instead of so much east to west, turn it up north and south. Folds did a nice job. And you can see he's got good size to him. He's not overly fast, but he's a big kid, 5'10", 210 pounds. And he can move a pile, and he sets up a 3rd and very manageable here. And what I'm assuming will be 4-down territory.
Folds roll out right. Now he's going to keep it. He'll get the 1st down, leaping for the end zone. He'll be short of that, but he'll be marked down at the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Rebels from there.
Great patience by Folds. Right there, he decides he's going to keep it. But what worries me, anytime you put that ball in one hand like that, especially when it's wet, you got to be careful you don't lose it. But big 1st down on 3rd down there. Now you got 1st and goal from the 1. And Champlin Park's just one yard away from making this a ball game.
Devin Gray in the backfield. 93 at the back. Now that full house backfield, they'll get the call. Spins to the end zone. He's in for the score.
Well, Devin Gray, 200 pounds, 6 foot. And just does a nice job following all these bodies right in front of him and really defends extremely well. But when you got that much weight coming forward at you, that's an easy touchdown. And Devin Gray does a nice job in this Champlin Park offense, finally capitalizing on the turnover, good field position. And this is where those extra points will come back into play here if Champlin Park's able to convert theirs.
Hoy out of a hold of Folds, gets it up and through. And it's 12-7 with 3:12 to play here in the first half.
We got a ball game, JJ.
Yes, we do.
And not only do you have a score-wise, but you can see Champlin Park on the sideline now. Their energy, they're clapping, heads are held high, crowd's into it, the cheerleaders are back into it. It just does a number when you can get a score like that. Now everyone's back. Okay, now we can breathe. Now we scored. We know we can do it. And defensively, Champlin Park's really stepped up to the plate here with 2 takeaways on the last 2 possessions.
Now each team with 3 turnovers, Ryan, here in the first half. And that doesn't include the bad snap on 4th down, which technically isn't a turnover.
Well, and the difference on that last one, John, is Champlin got it on a short field. The other ones they've had were after pretty long drives by Roseville. You know, in Roseville, their first turnover was the pick 6. They were able to score right out of it. So it is. We talk about it often, but it's football, almost more than any other sport, such a game of momentum. And one big play can really just change the direction of the game.
Boy, with a good solid kick and into the end zone, it'll be a touchback. Roseville will get it 1st and 10 from their 20. 3:12 to go in the half. They have 1 timeout remaining.
Well, and this is tricky now. Tricky time for both teams. You know, is Roseville, are they able to march down and score? They only got 1 timeout, but 3 minutes, 12 seconds, plenty of time. Or if Champlin is able to get a stop maybe on 1st and 2nd down, do they use a timeout and try to get the ball back to their offense with a chance to either, take the lead here. I think Chris Sindorn, too, he trusts his senior quarterback, Luke Bouchard. After that last play, talking to him on the sideline, letting him know the read, what to look for, see if they give it back, put the ball back in his arm.
Yeah, the handoff instead, Yang, and he
ball's
is
loose.
Getting tackled by the Rebels.
It looked like that ball came out again.
Loss of 1.
So here, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Corton, if they are able to get a stop here on second down to set up 3rd and long, to take a timeout, try to have as much time as possible to give the ball back to his offense, hopefully on a short field.
Mark Yang back at the 18, so it's a loss of 2 for the Raiders. 2nd down and 12. Andrade comes around, takes the handoff, pretty well strung out by the Rebels, and he's brought down. And another loss.
See if we get a timeout.
Zinna coming in and making a stop.
No timeout. I'll tell you what was beautiful about that play defensively. I couldn't tell the number in regular speed there, but they did not allow Andrade to get outside. That was the difference, and you could see he had to cut back. And a nice job filling, loss of play. You can see number 44 coming down the line, Zinna, who's made a couple of really nice plays here.
Colby and Zinna in on that stop. It's 3rd and 15 now here for the Raiders. Bouchard will keep it, and he gets out past the 20 to the 21.
There's a timeout.
And Colby on the stop, and now we get the Champlin Park timeout with a 4th and 9 coming for the Raiders.
Well, they're going to be punting, John, from right around the 20, 15-yard line with the snap. So you got to figure Champlin Park will be able to get the ball on their side of the field. So they'll have a short field with a minute and a half left and 2 timeouts.
Bouchard is also their punter, so
always
stay in the
looking
ball
out for a fake. Anytime you got a quarterback as a punter or a holder, always in the back of your mind, you're thinking potential here for a fake.
Homecoming night here. They'll have homecoming royalty being introduced here at halftime. A marching band will have their field show tonight. But at least now during the game, we're not getting that rain that we were getting at 3, 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, not only for that, but just for the homecoming festivities.
Right, that's
too.
what I mean.
It's not fun for the gals that are in their dresses and makeup, and it just makes it more enjoyable for everyone around having it not be so wet, not having it rain.
The Bouchard standing back inside his 10. Snap, high, kick, they'll bounce near midfield.
A good punt.
And a good Roseville roll of the bounce down to the 35-yard line. Kick of 44 yards and no return.
Yeah, great punt, great roll too. You couldn't ask for anything better in that scenario.
A minute 20 left, 2 timeouts remaining for the Rebels.
So here's a question, John. Would you rather have a minute 20, 2 timeouts, or a minute 48 with 1 timeout? Right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But also remember, too, in high school, you get a first down, the clock stops, so you are able to stop the clock quite a few times.
Folds will keep.
Nice run.
Out past the 40, the 42-yard line before brought down by Will Peterson.
You can see Champlin sprinting on the ball, getting on the ball. They got a nice gain on second down. Do you try to take a shot maybe here on second down?
Gain of 7. Folds, who does want to throw, gets the completion.
Nice.
Khan does a good job of getting out of bounds. So for Seagon, his second catch of the game. This one picks up 7.
So a lot of times what you'll do is you'll actually have 2 plays called, at the start of the drive, and they ran it. They got right on the line. They knew what they were trying to do, executed very well. First down ball right at midfield. Clock stop. You still have your 2 timeouts. Excellent job so far by the Rebels.
First down give, and a gain of just a couple for Lee to the 47-yard line. Rebels get back up to the line of scrimmage here. Clock running down to 45 seconds and counting to go. And the 2 timeouts still remaining.
That's where I try to get something, John, in the middle of the field, down the field. These long sideline throws are the ones that have had trouble here. Can you get something going down the field?
Olds didn't find anything downfield and runs out of bounds, pushed out by Morrow. Stops the clock with 28 seconds to go.
So the problem with that play takes 15 seconds to play, and you only gain a yard or 2. You know, this is where you got to get something down the field here, get a timeout. Give your team a chance maybe to have a throw into the end zone.
Third and 5 from the Roseville 45. 28 seconds left, 2 timeouts remaining for Champlin Park. Folds with time to throw, fires a bullet but fired it high, trying to hit Gahn down inside the 30. It'll be 4th and 5.
Well, and Gahn was open, and he's got good height, 6'3". And that's a problem sometimes with a wet ball. The ball can sail a little bit. Fourth down and 5. It looks like the punt team is getting ready to come in.
Well, the Rebels not wanting to give Roseville any kind of a chance for a desperation pass, perhaps of their own in the final seconds. Will hope for a good snap and punt, and let Roseville probably just hand off to end the half. It's a fake. Oh, he's going to run it.
Oh,
and he's right at the first down marker. Looks like
he got it.
Boy, on the keeper, picks up 5 yards and a first down. Got just enough.
Yeah. Watch him finish this run, John. Right there. He lowers his shoulder and able to run. And I think he got a pretty generous spot, too, out of that, if you see where that ball was. Interesting that they did that because of the problems they've had with the long snap, too. You risk a potential bad snap, but a gutsy call, a big call by Mike Corton, and it pays off here for a first down.
Now, just 18 seconds to left, so you only have so much time left for more plays. Folds, a little trickery, flipping it back to Hansen, 40 to the 30, fumbles the football, gets back on it at the 22-yard line. Rebels will get a timeout.
Well, they've been running that option to the right, and that time set it up just beautifully. And you can see Cal Hansen coming back to the left, and you can see no one there for Roseville. Again, that wet ball, just losing it, no contact, but able to get on it, recover it. You're at the 21-yard line now. 20, what are they marking at?
23, it looks like.
With 9 seconds on the clock. You still got a timeout. Do you take a shot at the end zone, or do you try to get 8 to 15 yards and then have a one last play where you can get a shot at the end zone here? And if you're Roseville, you're talking watch the trick plays, nothing deep, nothing outside, be sure tacklers. But this is where having that extra timeout really comes into play. If you had 9 seconds and no timeouts, you'd have to take a shot at the end zone here. But Champlin Park with that timeout will have enough time. They don't need to score on this play, get a quick timeout. They'll have one more chance.
3 receivers stacked to that short side of the field here. 23 seconds to go, 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Folds will throw back to the right to the end zone, trying to go to Gahn, but it's incomplete. Well covered by Morrow. And now you got time for exactly one more play.
Well, and that's where you, as a quarterback, you got to keep that ball in play. Give your guy Gahn, especially with his height and his size, give him a chance to make that play. You don't want to throw that 10 yards deep. You want to just throw it up high, give your athlete and one of your best receivers a chance to go make a play.
And now Champlin Park will use it last time out. They weren't going to be able to run anything else after this play, so they're going to make sure they get the right call, the call that they like the best.
Well, what I like
Try
what
to
they
get a
did there,
score.
they went trips to that short side, right, John? That's 3 receivers left. They tried to get gone, isolated man-to-man, so there's no safety help, and they got the look they wanted. And that's just a ball I'm positive Folds wish he had back. You know, so do they try to go at that matchup again, or do they try a hook and ladder? Do you try some type of a trickery? I always like going, you know, if you're going to go 4 receivers, I like 2 on each side, because then you can work the middle of the field as well as the sideline. And defensively, this is you see a lot of defensive coordinators and head coaches, they only rush 3 and they drop everyone back in coverage. I'm a fan of sending pressure after the quarterback. Don't give him time to survey the field and get comfortable.
So here we go, barring a penalty, a last play of the half.
You can see similar formation as last time. You got gone on the bottom of our screen.
Folds, he'll throw that way again to the end zone. Incomplete. Roseville had more coverage there as Malik Brian Davis was in on Gone. He had a shot at this, though, and it was broken up by...
It was a perfectly thrown ball. That time he gave Gone a chance to make the play. And you can see well covered, and that's where Gone, you can see he was coming down on his jump. He's got to time his jump so that he can get it at its highest point. Because with his height and athleticism, I think he could have made that grab. But nice throw by Folds that time, redeeming himself from the previous play. And that's all you ask for is a shot there to make a play. But either way, 12-7. Champlin Park definitely back in this football game.
And Roseville getting the early score on the pick 6, then another short field, and they get a touchdown after the missed play on the punt, and then they get the touchdown to make it 12-7. Let's go down to the field now. Allie Arlt.
Thanks, John. First quarter, great performance on both sides of the ball for you guys, but second quarter turnovers proved to be a bit costly.
Yeah, definitely. We've really been talking to the kids about valuing possession of the football, and felt like we gave them some life there to get them back in the football game. Got off to, like you said, the nice start. Seemed like they were a little bit flat, and then we gave them some life there. Fortunately, we got the stop there before the half. Get in with the lead and go ahead and regroup and hopefully come play a little bit better second half.
Other than those turnovers, what changes would you like to see out of your team?
Just taking care of the football, really. We talked on the sideline. If we go execute, we've been able to move the football and we've been able to stop them. So, take care of the ball, continue tackling well on defense, and, hopefully we'll get a win.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thanks to Chris Simdorn. We'll hear from Mike Corton before the start of the second half. Homecoming here at Champlin Park. The Rebels trail Roseville 12-7 at the half. We'll take time out and come back with coverage of halftime and the second half of play. Prep football on CCX continues after this. John Jacobson, Ryan Iverson, Allie Arp here at Champlin Park High School. The introduction of all the royalty tonight, the homecoming court. The queen and king for this year, Arshia Hussein is the queen, and Daryl Carter is the homecoming king.
How fun for them.
They're going to be introduced. They're going to be coming across the field here in just a moment. There's Arshia and Daryl Carter. You can see still in his football uniform mode 38, standing back on the other side at midfield.
Now, these are the kind of moments you don't forget the rest of your life. How fun.
Congratulations to all of the homecoming court and the queen, Arshia, and Daryl, the king for the week and the night. And you get to hold that forever, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, nobody's taking it away from you.
They always say life's about moments, right? Life's about stories. What a fun time for these kids. And I can tell you what makes the dance a whole lot more fun when you win the football game, right? That always, especially if you're the king and you're a football player, you want to go out and have a great second half so your teammates and everyone in your senior class can really just let loose and have a great homecoming weekend.
The Rebels dance team coming on now. They will perform at halftime, and we hope their footing is better than sometimes the players have had here in the first half.
So let's break this down. You can have a lot of pom-pom fumbles too, so you got to really grip it. They're going to be wet out there.
Well, let's take a listen and a look now at the Champlin Park High School dance team. The Champlin Park High School dance team. We'll take another break. We'll have more halftime here from Champlin Park High School. Our score at the break, Roseville 12, Champlin Park 7.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better.
Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Hi, welcome back to high school football. It is halftime. The Roseville Raiders leading 12-7 over the Champlin Park Rebels. Let's take a look at some highlights here in the first half. And it was a lot of fumbles in the first half. This was on the opening drive. You can see a pick six, a 70-yard touchdown run by Reggie Morrow. And that got the points, first points on the board. And that was a string of really 6 turnovers in the first half. Next possession, Champlin Park long snap goes over the head. And you can see a nice tackle here, and this is going to set up a short field for Roseville as they punch it in. Number 1, Zach Andrade buries it in for a touchdown. They would miss both extra points, so right there it's 12-0 Roseville. Coming down the field, another interception, and Andrade that time making his presence felt on the defensive end. Roseville, however, unable to score off of that turnover. And a nice counter play up the middle by Victor Yang. And this is at a point here where Roseville looked to be like they were going to take control of the game. A nice quarterback keeper, and Luke Bouchard that time gets the ball stripped. And that was one of the first turnovers for them. Next time Roseville's driving, again, another stripped fumble and recovered by number 44, Thomas Zinna. You can see he emerges from the pile without a helmet, but he does have a football. The very next play, Ernest Worslow breaks it away. 3 plays, 3 fumbles. You can see the ball gets wet, gets on the ground. Roseville able to recover. Next possession for Roseville. Steps up, interception by number 49, Vincent Lamberti. That would set up a short field for Champlin Park. And here they would punch it in. Their short down running back, number 93, Devon Gray, barrels it in for a touchdown. They would make the extra point. 12-7 is where we stand. And you can see rushing yards. Champlin Park really dominating offensively. 179 yards to 97 total yards for Roseville. The number there is turnovers, 3 for both teams, and points off of turnovers as well. It's been a very clean game. Only 1 penalty so far on either team. The question in the second half is going to be who can take care of the football. We heard Coach Simdorn tell Allie, if we take care of the football, I like our chances. So again, at the half here, homecoming in Champlin Park, Roseville Raiders lead 12-7. We'll be back in a flash here for the second half on CCX.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. big time.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television. You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Roseville, Champlin Park football tonight on this Friday night. Homecoming for the Rebels. They didn't do their full field show tonight, I imagine because of the weather. But we got to enjoy a little bit of the band here at halftime as Ryan recapped the highlights. The Raiders leading by a score of 12-7. As you take a look at Micah Gazaway, who's out with his snapper in his holder. He missed a couple of extra points in this first half and wants to get those down and get some practice and drilling them right down the middle.
Well, and this game, the way it's going, John, could very well come down to an extra point or a field goal even.
So look at the district standings coming into play in the Metro District. In the East, Cretin-Derham Hall 3-0 within this district, 3-2 overall. Eastridge also 3-1 and 3-2. Roseville, as I mentioned, coming in with that 4-1 overall record. Stillwater, Mounds View, Woodbury, and White Bear Lake. The Bears without a win so far this season.
Yeah, I'm still not used to how the districts work and how the seeding goes and all that stuff. There's a look at the Metro District North. St. Michael Albertville atop that 3-1, but they just lost Mitchell Cardis, their best football player, tore his ACL, so he's going to be out for the year. You can see Champlin Park 2-2. Blaine 1-2, and Blaine just had a big win last week, of course, against Champlin Park and plays Centennial tonight. So these could shake up here a little bit over the next couple weeks.
Coutinho Grace at home. It's their homecoming tonight, taking on Osseo. And every year you think Coutinho Grace, well, I don't know. They lost a lot of kids from last year. Here they are 4-1 heading into play tonight.
Yeah, Coach Ferguson is just one of those guys. He knows how to coach. He gets the most out of his players. So they might have lost a lot, but he gets them lined up right. He seems to always have that magic at the end of a game, and I would never bet against them, even if they're down a little bit.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with the second half of play. 12-7, Roseville leads Champlin Park. We'll continue in a moment on CCX.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
Champlin Park Rebels are back on the field. They trailed 12-7 at halftime. Let's go back to Allie Alt, who's standing by with Mike Corton.
Coach, the tale of between those first two quarters were two different stories. What changed between them?
I don't know. I wish I did know. It's high school football, and that's the kind of stuff that happens. I wish I did know, then I'd be a really, really good coach. Yeah, we just didn't come out, and we did some things, and we didn't possess the football. We gave it up too easily. They played a good first quarter.
There's a momentum build that came in that second quarter. Do you think that's going to carry through and get you guys through the second half?
I wish I knew that too. I don't know. I'm hoping we show up and play a little better and cut out the turnovers and take care of the football.
We'll wait for a good one, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Well, and that was the key 2 weeks ago when we did their game against Osseo, and Coach told us at halftime, we cut out the turnovers, we'll be okay. They didn't turn the ball over in the second half in the Orioles. They went on the last-minute field goal, and that is such a big factor at any level of football. And the Raiders kind of let the Rebels back into the game because they stopped themselves on two drives where they were inside the 30, and then the turnover here late in the second quarter, which set Champlin Park up on the red zone and gave them the score.
Well, let's go back to the first drive of the game. Champlin Park, remember, was moving the football. They just got a big run from Folds right previous to that interception. Then you get the pick six, and the whole dynamic of the game changes. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to both offenses pretty successful at moving the ball. We saw at halftime the stats really favoring Champlin Park right now. It's whoever doesn't turn the ball over, I think, is going to win this game. Whoever turns it over fewer times than the opponent is going to come out on top.
Roseville will get the first possession of the second half.
And there's two different mindsets that go into turnovers. One, you got to have a quarterback who's got a short memory, right? You want him to regroup, get his confidence, and still feel like he can make every throw. And then there's the running back turnovers where you can't forget, you gotta take care of that football. You gotta get two hands on it, especially with how wet it is. And we saw, a lot of running backs just dropping the ball, even not even having contact, just dropping it while they're running. So hopefully both of those teams can fix those problems. But it's also one of those things you can't really practice. It's hard to practice with a wet field and a wet ball. And so you emphasize it at halftime, or you do a couple of quick drills, but that's all you can do.
Here's a schedule for the last two games for these teams. Roseville will take on Mounds View next Friday at 7 o'clock, and then they'll finish up at Creighton-Durham Hall on Wednesday the 18th. Champlin Park will be home against Centennial, and then they have a tough regular season finale at Totino Grace on Wednesday the 18th.
Centennial tonight, so far they're down right now playing against Blaine. So when we looked at those districts, I think the rankings might change up here over the next couple of weeks. A lot of the top teams playing against each other.
So for Roseville, they were outgained in the first half, as you saw those numbers for Ryan at halftime. And they have the lead, but they got to feel that they lost some of that momentum going into halftime, some of that mojo they had going on for the first quarter plus.
And really give a lot of credit to Champlin Park's defense, because think the first touchdown was a pick six. The second touchdown was after the long snap on the punt went down all the way down to about the 10-yard line. So you take those two plays out of it, and Roseville really didn't do a whole lot offensively. I think Champlin Park's defense did a nice job keeping them into this ball game. They're going to kick off here, so there's not a better way to start a half than can you get a turnover, can you get a 3-and-out quickly, get the ball in the hands of your offense, and just find that rhythm, that balance.
We talked about this. Allie did a report on it 2 weeks ago, and we had a shot of it just a moment ago on the Champlin Park sideline. Something that was allowed by the league starting last year is you can use video down on your sideline to review plays. And they got the big TV under the tent tonight because of the weather, but it gives kids a chance to see right on video how they've done, what mistakes they've made, and all that.
Well, you talk about technology. Yeah, we talk about, and there you can just see it, and it's such a great teaching tool for these coaches. And you know, as a player, your coach can tell you something, and you might think, well, that's not what I did on that play. Well, when you watch the video, you can't get away from it. It shows you tape never lies. And to be able to make those corrections in real time, I still, I played in the late 90s, John. We used to have the recorders, the video that had tape. That's how old, we were. Now with Huddle, they're able to scout every team right on the player's cell phone. It's just amazing how technology has helped this game.
Boy, with another good kickoff, this will be handled back inside the 5-yard line and returned out past the 20-yard line. Good return by the Raiders out to the 27. It'll be first down and 10 there for Roseville as Sandin have the return.
Yeah, and he fielded that right about the 1-yard line.
27-yard return.
Nice return. Good field position. And let's see if Chris Simdorn can get that rhythm back on offense. They had in those first couple drives where really just nice runs, nice mix of passes too. Let's see if he trusts his senior quarterback with the ball in his hands, making a couple throws. They really do a nice job of balancing their run and pass.
Opening play of the second half. Bouchard keeping. Boy, he's really fighting hard. He's got a lot of navy and silver pushing him back, where he's driven down and tackled by Folby and Carr.
Yeah, Folby, number 7. Both number 7s tonight having really good games. It's Zarzar for Roseville, and that time Folby. And you just like running backs and quarterbacks, keep their feet moving. When you're tackling, you keep your feet driving. You want to drive them backwards. But a nice gain on first down, gain of 3 or 4.
Second down and 7. Throw to Andrade. And Tolentino couldn't quite wrap him up and slowed him down. Zinna drops him to the ground.
Watch Zinna, number 44. He's going to come from the left side of your screen. Right here. Boom. That's a great, as a defensive lineman, you'll love that when a receiver or running back spinning right back into you. They don't know you're coming. And you can see he's showing off his athleticism, coming all the way from the left side of the line of scrimmage all the way down the line to make that play. But again, a nice job by Tolentino, number 11, not allowing him to get outside there, keeping him, making him go back to the inside.
Third down and 7. Bouchard throwing and gets a completion to the 40-yard line to the Champlin Park 39. Victor Yang with his first catch tonight. Had a run we saw earlier, and this is a big catch.
Yeah, and you can see number 7 again. That's Folby. As a linebacker, you want to get depth on your drop. He was getting there, and the ball just perfectly thrown right over his outstretched hand. And again, I love attacking the middle of the field there. And they ran 4 verticals, and the quarterback can just make his read, and he did a nice job of throwing it right over Folby's hands into that lane. Nice job by Yang pulling it down. Big gain.
Gain of 30 for the Raiders. First and 10 from the 39 of Champlin Park. Bouchard running and slipped a little bit, kind of ran into his own lineman, but still gets forward to the 35 and picks up 4.
Well, he's such a big kid, too. I mean, there really wasn't a lot there, but he just leans forward, that 6'4" frame, and he picks up about 4.5 yards on first down. And as a coordinator, as a guy that's calling plays, you love getting those good first downs because it opens everything up. You got a pass, you got runs, you got, you could take a shot, anything goes on second and manageable. That's why winning first down is so important.
Second down on the fake on the handoff. The ball comes out with you already down. The Rebels, like they have it covered. Now they're going to confer on whether he was down or not.
Yep, he's saying he's down.
It's going to be down. And Raiders will keep the ball. And he was definitely down.
Yep, nice job by the referees. And you can see I think that's Chuck Kroll down there as the head referee. Does a great job. He's got a great crew. And you know what I love? They conferred, right? Because sometimes you get a guy that makes a call and he maybe isn't in the position to do that. They conferred with each other, and that's the right call.
Gain of 3 for Bouchard. It's 3rd down and 3 for the Raiders from the 32 of Champlin Park.
Yeah, really running Bouchard a lot more than they normally do.
Yang comes in motion. Bouchard will keep it again. And he stretches that football out to close to where that first down marker is. Looks like they mark him short. His knee went down at the 30. It'll be 4th down and less than a yard to go.
Yeah, you can see it looks like he got a pretty bad spot out of that. It looked like he was a good yard or half yard further than that, but 4th down, you got a big quarterback. Just his momentum alone you think would be enough to push him forward. But if you run out of the shotgun, this is where using athleticism and having a guy like Thomas Zinna too, if you can get penetration into the backfield and hit them before they get to the line of scrimmage, this can be dangerous.
4th down, they give it, and Yang has got the first down.
And that's a heck of a, do you see the footwork by Yang to avoid exactly what we just talked about? Zinna got in the backfield. Look at number 44 and number 35. And just a nice simple cutback. Didn't get much, but got enough for the first down.
Avoided Zinna and Humphrey and got a first down for his team and a fresh set of downs.
Yep.
First down at the 29 of Champlin Park. 4th rushing first down for Roseville. 7th first down overall for the Raiders in the game. Play action, fires a bullet over the middle and completion to Andrade inside the 15 and another Roseville first down.
Well, what makes that play is being able to run the ball. It's a little play action there, and you can see the linebackers step up just enough. And there was some zip on that football. Bouchard has a nice, he plants nicely. He's got good arm strength, and that was a bullet. But how about that catch, too, by Andrade? That ball was a little bit behind him with a wet ball, too, to stop your momentum. Go back and grab that ball. Nice play. And here's that balance, run, pass, balance. Nice long drive, taking up almost half the quarter already on this opening drive of the second half.
Play action, throw toward the end zone and incomplete. Trying to go to Gary Smith, and he ran out of real estate in the back end of that end zone, covered by Turner.
And that's a throw that I'm okay with. If you're going to take that kind of shot, you don't want to turn it over. And the only place you put it is a chance where Gary Smith can make it or it goes out of bounds. So on that particular play, I'm okay with where that ball placement was. And again, I love the play action call on first down.
2nd down and 10. Throw over the middle and a completion, and Andrade for the touchdown. 13 yards for the score, and Roseville strikes first here in the second half.
Well, same play we saw earlier, complete, but I'll tell you what made it is Bouchard. You see that little pump fake there? He looked at Andrade, he wasn't there, and he held the ball just a little bit longer, and that allowed Andrade to free up and get open. And a beautiful throw, and even a better catch, too, by Andrade, right up the middle. And that's his 3rd receiving touchdown. We touched on it before the game. He's very dangerous as a pass catcher. That time running the seam right up the middle. Beautiful diving catch and a nice opening drive here for Roseville on the road. We're going to go for 2.
Andrade looked left. He'll fire back to the right. Andrade with the catch from Bouchard for the 2-point conversion.
Well, and he had Andrade deep, but he also had Victor Yang, number 2, in the flat in the extra point, too. Watch the top of your screen. Number 2 is going to be wide open right there to the right. He didn't see him. He made the tougher throw. And again, a nice catch by Andrade in the back of the end zone, able to get his feet down. And a big 2-point conversion to get back some of those missed ones from earlier.
So they use 5 minutes and 22 seconds here of the third quarter. And go down the field. Ryan, the 70-plus yards, and mixing the run and the pass. And Bouchard connecting with Andrade for both touchdown and then the 2-point conversion.
I'll tell you, if Roseville can have that kind of balance, right? Because so many high school football teams have one player that you got to key in on. If you can shut them down, you'll shut the offense down. Well, you could say Andrade, we got to stop him. Well, he hasn't really had an impact on the game running the football tonight. It's been more out of the passing game, but they had a couple of nice runs by Bouchard. And again, you see that play action defense comes up and they hit him right down the seam. Really nice mix and match of running and passing the ball on that drive.
Short kick returned by Gray, and he brings it out to near the 40-yard line before he's brought down. Gray's had a couple of kick returns tonight. And the first down and 10 for Champlin Park from their 39-yard line.
And now you feel that energy, John, kind of like we did after that pick six to start the game, right? Champlin seems a little bit down, the crowd's a little bit quiet. Again, it's going to be on this offense. Can they get a big play? Can they get that energy, get that excitement back on their sideline?
Folds up under center on first down and 10. He'll hand off to Ernest Wardlow, and he is wrapped up by Will Peterson as a flag comes in as well. Loss on the play of 1, and we'll check out the penalty.
Well, that flag, when it comes in on the tackle, a lot of times you'll see a hands to the face, maybe a face mask.
Yep.
And Will Peterson, big number 66. Watch him fight off spin move. Nice job. I can't see where it came in, but you get a flag on the tackle. A lot of times that's what it's going to be for. And a lot of times, too, it's inadvertent, too. Guys aren't trying to do it, but the running backs duck in and their hand gets stuck there. And so it does happen. But fortunately, it happened because that would have been a loss on the play. Instead, it moves the chains forward and a first down.
First penalty tonight for Roseville, but it gives Champlin Park a first down. Waterloo trying to get outside. He is wrapped up and dropped. Michael Martin coming up, and Martin with a big loss on the play, the tackle for a loss of 4 yards.
Well, you don't see Warslow go down by one person very often, but look at this wrap up, and then here's the power bringing him down. Excellent tackle. And that's going to be a loss of 4 on the play.
Second down and 14. Folds. Well, on the option, trying to pitch the ball, dropped it, picks it back up. And back to the line of scrimmage, but that was it. A little scary for the Rebels. That ball was on the ground, and for Folds picks it back up.
Well, and that's when you're running the option, you can't be indecisive. And that time you could see Folds wasn't sure if he was going to pitch it or keep it. And that's where you got to pick one way or the other. You got to pitch it or you got to turn your shoulder and hang on to that football. And a lot of times, too, you could see that time Folds ran it a little bit slower. Wasn't sure. You got to hit that with some speed.
3rd and 14. They pitch it back to Hansen. And this time he had success in the first half. Roseville ready, and they make the stop. Andrade comes up and makes the tackle along with Emmanuel Denny.
Yeah, and a nice job. You're going to see Andrade, number 1, staying home. I can assure you that Chris Simdor told those guys on the last play they ran, when that worked, you got to stay home. And a nice job by Andrade staying home. Good job by the defensive lineman, too, coming down the field. And a nice defensive stance for the Raiders. Kind of midfield again. This is where we saw a fake punt last time. It's pretty gutsy to call it twice in a row, but you got to keep your eyes on it.
A little bit of a high snap, but Oy able to handle and gets a nice punt away. Sandin fair catches it back at his 18-yard line.
It's a beautiful punt. Great punt. Well, it's kind of seemed like Champlin Park, when you thought maybe this game is really turning all towards Roseville, their defense has stepped up and gotten a turnover. Can they do it one more time? Can they get a short field to jump start this offense, get them going?
First down and 10, Raiders. They start just inside their own 20. Yang comes in motion. Bouchard took one step to his right and cuts right up the middle, and Rebels waiting there and make the tackle for no gain. Todd Pop, the junior defensive linebacker, comes in and makes the tackle.
He did a nice job of staying home too. There was a fake handoff to the right, and he just stayed right in his lane, and he was able to meet Bouchard right at the line of scrimmage, gain of 1.
Look at that clock already, down to 3:35 to go in the third quarter.
We forget that first drive was, 5, 6 years. They didn't get any huge plays, but there's real nice and slow and methodical to move down the field.
Short of the good second down run, and he runs it up the middle before tackled behind by Carr. Tolentino coming in and help finishing him off. Gain of 8, it'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, and you can tell Coach Simdorn, this is a kind of game with all the turnovers and with the conditions the way they are, saying, I trust my senior quarterback with the ball. And I think that's why he's getting a lot more rushing attempts tonight. And you can see in that last drive, hey, we're going to mix it up. We're going to do some play action. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that play action pass right down the middle of the field again.
3rd and short. Hand off. Yang spins out of a would-be tackle and gets a first down out across the 30. He was met and seemingly dropped for a loss, but a great spin move and fights his way and gets 2 yards in the first down.
Yeah, and that was Zinna, number 44, again, wrecking havoc, getting into the backfield. And Yang, just a beautiful spin move. He's only 5'8", 175 pounds. He's got excellent footwork. We've seen him pull out that spin move and a couple of really fancy, nice cuts too. So it's kind of nice having that. You got the big quarterback, maybe not with the speed, but a little bit more power, and you can complement that with Victor Yang, Brendan McMillan, and of course Zach and Andrade too.
Rebels jump, and that cost them 5 yards. Their second penalty tonight.
Well, I know we mentioned it too, JJ, but not too many games. There only 1 penalty in the first half. Here we've had 2 in the second half, but pretty clean, well played by both sides as far as penalties is concerned. We're going to set up about 1st and 15 out of the shotgun.
Throw, and nice job catching the ball. It kind of popped out of the hands briefly of Javon Motley, but then he was able to get his hands back under it with us and make the grab. Only a couple yard gain, but it was a nice catch by Motley.
Well, you got the penalty yards and some back, so a nice about an 8-yard gain. Not an easy catch too, and you got to dive to your outside, low and away, wet ball. Great concentration too.
And the run by Andrade, and it's a nice gain out to the 39-yard line for the Raiders. That picks up 7 yards.
Yeah, nice play call too. That's a pre-snap motion. It looks like it's going to be the handoff going to the right. They counter it back with Andrade. And again, didn't look like a whole lot was there, but just moves that pile forward. And you go from 1st and 15 down to 3rd and 2. Again, a very manageable 3rd down. And this is where, judging on the way Chris Simdorn has called this game offensively, you got to think Luke Bouchard is going to get that ball and keep it and try to get up the middle and just plow forward using his size.
Bouchard does just that, gets a first down out to the 45-yard line, picks up 6, and this Roseville offense very efficient here in the second half.
Well,
talk about the injuries, Brian. Sorry to interrupt you. Trayvon Cahalan was a guy that got injured a couple of weeks ago against Osseo. You can see him on the sideline. He's got that left leg that was injured in cast up elevated. Had surgery last week and a very serious foot injury that he suffered.
Yeah, it's a Liz Frank is what they call it. It's very painful. Actually had a blood clot as well, which is even more painful. And You know, I've torn my Achilles quite a few times. I've been in those knee scooters. I know it's not fun, and you just certainly wish him to be healthy, to recover, and to stay positive.
McMillan with the run. He'll pick up a first down for Roseville and a gain of 15 yards. Brendan McMillan, as the third quarter comes to an end. Roseville dominating play there in that third quarter. They'll take a 20-7 lead into the fourth and have another first down. We'll take a break, get back. Fourth quarter football on CCX after this. And there's our score by quarters. Roseville with the only points here in the second half, and they now have a 13-point lead on Champlin Park as we start the fourth. And they have looked like a much better offensive team than we saw in the first half. They had 12 points, but that was set up with one directly off turnover. Another one was just a 12-yard drive that they had to score. But their offense has been good, mixing the run and pass, getting some great plays from their quarterback. Yep. And they're in a good position here entering the fourth quarter. Well,
they're using all their weapons, and they're making throws that are easy throws to the outside. They've used play action to set up throws down the middle. And again, when you got Bouchard as big and strong as he is, just getting 4 or 5 yards a carry, you mix in Yang and McMillan with that speed, come back with a counter with Andrade. I mean, just a really tough and balanced offensive attack here, and you can see it's causing the Rebels a lot of trouble.
Bouchard's got time to throw, fires, ball tipped and incomplete. Broken up by Taj Turner. 2 Raiders players are slow to get up. Motley, one of them, and take a look at it again. Oh, Motley and also Graves, who is the intended receiver, took a pop from the D-back. Graves taking the hit there from Lundgren. He goes down. Motley did get up, but Graves still down on the field. Now he'll be helped up.
He took a shot there, it looked like to his head area. And that's always hard when you're running full speed one way and safety gets to come over and get a shot on you. And that was very close to being a really good thrown ball and a big completion, but nice job defensively, just nowhere to go. And that was that play action. That time I thought the linebackers did a nice job of getting depth. And what they did is they forced Bouchard to have to throw it over them. That ball gets a little bit more air on it, and safeties and corners are able to recover and make a nice play.
Second down and 10, ball at the 39 of Champlin Park. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Raiders have led all the way. They lead 20-7. Big hill up the middle. It's McMillan with a nice run close to a first down before he's brought down.
Well, do you see his cut right at the line of scrimmage there? He's coming to the right. Watch this cut to his left right there. And he makes a guy miss, and he gets into that speed. He's got so much speed. I tell you, McMillan and Yang, their cuts and their footwork, their lateral quickness has just been really, really nice to watch. Fun to watch, hard to tackle too.
Lundgren on the stop after a gain of 9. 3rd and 1 from the 30. Bouchard will keep the quarterback. Still on his feet inside the 20 to the 15 and brought down at the 15-yard line of Champlin Park.
And again, a nice cut right there, getting to the outside. Good push by Champlin Park. And a pretty good athlete himself, Luke Bouchard, the senior there. Nice lateral cut, stays on his feet. And you see Chris Simdorn, I think he's a little upset. I think they thought it was a late hit, a tackle out of bounds. See, Bouchard looks like he's a little sore. He's taken a lot of hits here tonight, but he's willed his team and he's willed his offense to first down after first down. They had a really nice rhythm to their offense right now.
First and 10 at the 15-yard line of Champlin Park. Handoff comes to Andrade. Got some room inside the 5, trying to fight for the end zone. He's down inside the 2. It'll be first and goal for the Raiders.
And again, there's that motion play counter back to Andrade, and it looked like the timing was actually off a little bit. Nice job just getting that handoff. And a good block downfield, too. You can see number 5, Graves. Good to see him back in the game. They're blocking downfield. Nice cut by Andrade. And again, you talk about rhythm. It's just, you can see every play call seems to be working, and it seems to be setting up the next play call. And here from the 1-yard line, I wouldn't be surprised to see their big power set in the backfield. Something right up the middle.
And they do go up the middle to Sandin, in for the touchdown. Max Sandin, 2-yard run in Roseville with a big score. It's now 26-7.
Yeah, I mean, really couldn't have been defended any better than that. Sandin, a big, strong kid. We've seen him return some of the kickoffs tonight. That time just uses his power, gets behind the big bodies, able to push forward for a touchdown.
At first half, Roseville 5 first downs, already 8 here in the second half.
And really both drives taking good chunks of time off the clock. Exactly what you want to see. You know, sometimes you can score with big plays, right? Explosive plays. I always think as a coach, I mean, you like to have that threat of those big plays, but sometimes it's just nice to have these methodical drives where you're executing play after play after play, sustaining drives.
They'll go for 2 again, and a completion in the end zone. This time caught by Gary Smith, and it's 28-7.
That's a tough throw and a even tougher catch. Roll out to the right. Look at the velocity. Look at the accuracy, too. Pretty well defended. Nice job by Smith, too, hanging onto that ball, diving into the corner of the end zone for a 2-point conversion. They've gotten back those 2 missed extra points early. So 4 touchdowns, 28 points, and really taking a commanding lead with just over 10 minutes here left in the fourth quarter.
Roseville here. He's an exhausted young man. Orchard has taken a beating tonight. He's going to catch his breath and hitting every which way, and he's played a great game.
You wonder, too, under those tents on those TVs, can they get HBO or Showtime? Maybe he's just going to relax, watch some old Soprano videos. He's like, hey, Coach, I don't need to see what's going on. We're doing whatever we want out there. Give me a 30 for 30 or something on ESPN.
Short kick, bounce picked up by a lineman and returned out past the 35 or the 38-yard line before being brought down. It might be Max Shellham. He was a tight end to start the season. He wore number 17, but they had to switch him to lineman with so many injuries. He switched to 78 here. So he's used to handling the ball. He did what was needed for his team, had to move out to the offensive line, no longer a pass catcher because they had so many injuries to.
And he's a big kid too, 6'5", 220 pounds. You could tell he'd be a great target as a tight end. But like you said, due to injuries, just sacrificing for the betterment of his team, playing offensive line.
On first down, folds, runs, will get a couple of yards out past the 40, but that's it. It's a defense. How much did you enjoy playing in games like this when the situation's like this? You're up 3 scores. You know the team's either going to pass, but even if they're running, you just kind of set yourself and go at them, right? Well, be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, and you play just with such confidence too, right? You know, I love when teams are prepared, when you know what the other team's going to run. We used to call plays out as they were coming to the line, and that's just a great feeling.
Bolts will keep it. This time a great run for him. He's got a first down into Roseville territory, and he's all the way down to the 40-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 19 yards.
I'll tell you the difference here, Folds. Watch his speed and his commitment to it. He didn't slow down. He wasn't hesitant. He knew it. He kept it. He went north and south in a hurry. And that's when he's been effective tonight. He's had a couple of long runs out of that option. But then the last few times they've run it, he looked indecisive. That time he knew he was keeping it and made a really nice run.
10 carries for 80 yards for the senior. Roll out right. Wants to throw. He's going to keep it. Run it. 35-yard line. Still on his feet. And runs it down inside the 30 to the 29. We talked to him a couple weeks ago about him playing a quarterback position that he wasn't expecting to play coming into his senior year. And one of his teammates, Trey Carlson, said, he plays quarterback like he's still a linebacker.
Yep.
He's not afraid of that contact. He doesn't care if he gets grass in his helmet or anything, right?
Well, and you talked about Max Shellum having to play, from tight end to offensive line. Folds, here's a guy who's a great linebacker, and Bennett Otto obviously not playing this year. He had a very strong year at quarterback, and you just do whatever you can to fill in for your team.
Folds will keep it again. Big hole, 20-yard line all the way down to near the 10. These last 3 runs, they've moved from their own 41 to down to close to a 1st and goal. It'll be 1st and 10 actually at the 11. And now Folds over 100 yards rushing.
Yep. Yeah, 3 carries in a row were really nice yardage, running that option. And again, you can see Roseville saying, we're going to take, Ernest Worslow out of it. We're going to make Folds keep it. And this drive, he's really utilized it. He's been very decisive and very powerful, too.
Try to come up the middle, and he has dropped. Surrey Zarzar on the tackle.
Yeah, he's had a nice game from that middle linebacker position. That time he just read it. Look at him come up at the line of scrimmage, makes a nice tackle. This is where a nice play call, those reverses that they've run a couple times, a quick, sprint out to the right and throw.
Second out, Folds looking right. Now we'll tuck it, trying to run, and he's dropped for a loss back at the 11-yard line.
And that's too, when you got a guy that isn't a quarterback all the time, you see he kind of got rushed, right? He had time. If he could have just held on to it, made the initial throw. And sometimes you're not used to it. You think that everyone's bearing down on you, you take off and run, sometimes a little bit premature. But again, that pass rush too, closing in on him. Nice job by the Raiders defense.
Gary Smith on the tackle for loss. Loss of 1. It's 3rd and 10 from the 11. Folds looking left, lofts the pass for Ornlow, and a little high for him and incomplete. Now 4th down.
Well, and even if it wasn't high, there was no room over there on the left side. He might have got that for a yard or two. This is a 4th down. This is where you got to take a shot at the end zone. You got to know where that 1st down marker is. Again, you can see that the momentum was taking Worslow out of bounds anyways.
Fourth down for the Rebels from the 11. Folds, roll out right. Looking, will loft it to the end zone, and it's broken up. Nice play by Zach Andrade. Trying to hit it to Cal Hansen, and Andrade gets a hand in there and breaks it up.
That's a heck of a play. I mean, that's a really well-thrown ball, too. Andrade just a nice job all out, able to get his hand on that and break it up. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown. Nice play call, nice throw, but even better play by Andrade, who's had a great game, not only offensively, but also defensively.
Not a bad pass. It was a great defensive play.
That's another foot or so more, it would have been out of bounds. It was thrown perfectly, just defensed extremely well.
The Raiders look to close things out here, leading by 3 touchdowns, 7:42 to go. They've got the ball. What they're guarding against here is just not turning it over.
Exactly.
Right? Handoff goes to Max Sandin, and really not much for him there. Rebels ready for the run. It's actually a loss of 1.
Well, both teams in the second half done a nice job at taking care of the football. I don't know if we keep track of time of possession here, but in the second half, it's got to be 80% Roseville. They opened up with that 6.5-minute drive in the first possession here of the second half. Last drive was another nice methodical drive, so really done a nice job at dominating the ball. And sometimes good offense like that can be your best defense as well.
Second down and 11. A give to Andrade. Going left, makes a cut, breaks a tackle at the 15. It's to help finish him off after he was mostly wrapped up by Lundgren, and Zinna does help bring him down. Those two combine, and a run by Andrade of 7 yards will bring up 3rd and 3.
Nothing spectacular as far as that run. It's going to look as a 7-yard run. But how many guys he made miss, John, just to get that 7 yards? Made a guy miss right at the line of scrimmage. Then he had contact 2 yards downfield. And to get 7 yards, truly just a phenomenal effort. And I love the diversity of their running backs. If you throw in Bouchard, too, as a quarterback, they got power, they got speed, they got great quickness, too.
Andrade with only 8 rushes tonight, but also 5 catches. There's his 9th rush. Breaks tackles, got a first down out to the 25.
Well, there was that zip sweep again where everything's going one way, counter back to the left. Watch this spin move right there. That's a tackle that would have been short of the first down. We've seen a number of the running backs tonight for the Raiders utilize excellent spin moves, great footwork. Whoever teaches their running backs needs to come to the Vikings. Now that our running backs hurt for the year, we need some good footwork like that at the NFL level.
1st and 10 for the Raiders from the 25. We're under 6 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Big handoff up the middle. It's Sandin, and he's got 25 yards on that run.
That was one of the first times we've just seen a nice dive right up the middle here. And well blocked. You can see the big linemen doing their job. No contact at the line of scrimmage. And Max Sandin, who's got a touchdown tonight, has had a nice job returning kicks. You can see he's got a little bit more power right up that middle, hits the hole hard. That's where when you're a running back and you don't get contact, you gotta buy your lineman a pizza later tonight saying, thanks guys, great job.
And they're out to midfield now. Bouchard will hand off. Andrade, a couple of yards to the 48. Hangs onto the football though, Ryan. That clock keeps moving.
When you see number 51 for Champlin Park, that's Andrew Humphrey. He's 3 yards deep in the backfield, John, and just a heck of a play by Andrade to make him miss. I know he didn't get much out of it, but rather than a 3-yard loss, you turn it into a 2 or 3 yard gain. Just really nice balance and footwork. I haven't seen footwork like that since I've seen highlights of your prom dancing video. And that's how good this footwork is.
They didn't have video back then.
Beta, it was beta, right. I think.
2nd down and 8. A pitch and coming back to the middle of the field and then a little bit to the left. A gain of 1 maybe that time for Andrade. Get more of the workload here on this drive. 3rd and 7, officials timeout. We got another Roseville player hurt. One of their linemen, I think, out in front of Andrade.
Number 78, I think. Looked like he fell down. That's Will Shadd.
We'll look at Will Shadd down on the field. We'll take a look at our upcoming telecast on CCX. A couple of volleyballs for you next week. Osseo at Champlin Park on Tuesday, and then Armstrong at Maple Grove Thursday in Northwest Suburban Conference play. Brooklyn Center 4-1 on the season. They have a tough challenge tomorrow, though, playing at Minneapolis North. It's their homecoming next Friday. They will host St. Paul Humboldt. And Maple Grove at Wayzata football on Wednesday the 18th. We also got some section soccer in there too, but teams yet to be determined, so those dates are not up there, but we will have playoff soccer for you as well in the next 2 weeks here as we get into the postseason. Soccer, football, volleyball, all upcoming here on CCX.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, it just feels like school started.
Yeah.
Here we are almost closing down the fall football season and volleyball and soccer, and time flies.
Section tennis playoffs are already underway, and soccer starts this next week.
Well, it's good to see Will Shadd, big number 78, walk off on his own there. Anytime you get landed on at the end of a run, you worry about knees and ankles, and it's certainly good to see him walk off on his own accord.
On 3rd down and 7, Bouchard, the ball is out, and Raiders might have gotten back on it. Andrade dives back out of the football. And Roseville will keep it, but it will be 4th down.
So watch Andrade, number 1, on the right side of your screen. Watch him sprint and get on that ball. You talk about awareness. And you get the feeling, too, that Luke Bouchard is beaten up. You can see he was slow getting up. He had a lot of carries. He's taken a lot of hits here tonight, but a heads-up play by Andrade just to get on that football.
Zinna was the one that forced the football.
Yeah, he's had a heck of a football game. I'll tell you, both of the kids we highlighted as players to watch have really made us look good. They've come out tonight and both had really good football games.
A good drive by Roseville. They don't get any points, but they take time off the clock. Ball fumbled on the punt and then covered back up, and Tolentino will keep the ball for the Rebels back at his 10-yard line. That was a good punt by Bouchard.
I was going to say, tonight both teams punted the ball really well.
Let's go down to Aliarlu, who has an injury update for us.
Yep, guys, we just saw him come off the field a minute ago, Will Shad. He met with the trainer. Trainer checked out his leg. He's grabbing some water right now. He did a couple runs. He jumped up and down, and he should be back out in just a few moments.
All right, thanks very much, Allie.
Well, Allie, tell him to get under that tent and watch some HBO or Showtime for a few plays, and he'll get back in there.
1st down and 10, Champlin Park, back at their 10-yard line. Bold fires a throw a little low for Trey Carlson and incomplete.
You know, not only do you talk about a wet field condition, not only gripping the ball, but we've seen it happen a couple times, and that time it looked like as well that Folds just, as he's planting, sometimes that back foot slips on this wet grass and you don't get into your throw. And that time it looked like that's what happened too. It was short on the throw.
2nd down and 10. There's 3:07 to go here in the game. Folds will throw right and high, trying to hit Carlson, and it's 3rd down. Third and 10 from the 10. Folds throwing right and gets to completion this time, targeting Carlson again. Makes the catch at the 19. Looks like he'll spot him just short of the 1st down.
Yeah, nice catch by Trey Carlson. Again, wet ball that's high to your outside. You got a defender all over you. Nice catch, good concentration.
Fourth down, less than a yard to go. Champlin Park trying to keep their offense on the field. Wolves will keep it. He'll get the 1st down. And out to the 25-yard line before Zuri Zarzar brings him down.
Well, and a nice smart play. They've had good success tonight running that option, especially to the right side.
Folds throwing over the middle and through the hands of Vang and incomplete.
Well, and that looked to be a pretty good throw. Again, I like attacking the middle of the field. There's been an alley open there tonight. That ball looked like it hit Vang right in the hands. That's a ball you got to have.
Rebels with around 200 yards rushing the ball. They've had success at times running the football tonight, but have 7 points to show for it. Folds rolls out on 2nd down and 10, trying to avoid the sack, but can't.
And guess who?
Zuri Zarzar on the sack.
Yeah, but I like too is it didn't look like Zarzar was blitzing on that play. He's just rolling with the flow of the play to the left, and then once he sees Folds is going to pass, he's coming, and that's where Folds either got to throw it away or make a decision to keep it a little bit earlier. Don't want to take the sack.
3rd and 13, an interception. Morrow with his 2nd pick of the game. Reggie Morrow trying to make his 2nd pick 6 of the game, and he won't. He gets knocked out of bounds inside the 5.
It'll almost look like he wanted to go down right after he intercepted it, and he thought, hey, I can maybe get a second touchdown off of an interception, and he said, watch this, right after he catches it, looks like he's going to go down right there, and then he says, no, I see the end zone. Let me see if I can get back there. And a really nice return, and oh, so close. Great hustle, too. Couldn't tell who that was. Is that 78?
Yeah, Shellum.
Yeah, nice job by Shellum there. You know, that's what you love to see, right? The game probably has already been decided. He wouldn't have mattered if he didn't hustle. He's sprinting down the field, trying to keep him out of the end zone. Nice job. But really, really nice game tonight by Reggie Morrow. Set the tone early with that pick six, and then here kind of bookending with another interception. You know, and you'd say, too, normally at this point, Roseville probably wouldn't try to score, but when you got the ball inside the 5, you know, you're just going to run the ball up the middle, and if you happen to get in, you do.
That's just the second penalty of the game against Roseville. Set them back to the 10-yard line. Bouchard has really taken a beating, but he's back out there on this drive again. His jersey is about every other color other than white. Look at the grass and paint from the chalk lines. Goes descended, trying to go outside. That hole closed in a hurry. The Rebels get in and make the tackle on Max Sandin with a touchdown here in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you the other, tough part about playing in the wet conditions that no one may think about or want to think about, but your pants get so wet, you end up getting chafed too on your legs and your thighs because it's water the whole game, and your socks are wet and cold. Your feet can get blisters, and it's just a lot of things that it's so much nicer when it's good weather and it's warm. But that's what makes football is you got the elements too.
Sandin with a good hard run here, though, on second down. He gets inside the 5-yard line and be third down and goal from about the 4.
I'll tell you, I'm leaving, thinking Roseville is a very good team, good football team with a chance to, if they can run the football and throw with that kind of balance too, and having a senior quarterback with that experience and that arm strength, you get the feeling that they definitely could make a run at it here in their district.
Another flag down. Another procedure penalty, the second in just a few plays here for Roseville after being clean all game.
Well, and after that, too, you just wonder if Coach Simdorn's going to say, let's take a knee here and get this clock out. The other thing you always think about in games like this where the outcome's decided is you don't want to get an injury. Both teams have been plagued by injuries this year. You just want to get out of here with everyone still feeling good and healthy. Yeah, you weren't kidding. You got a little mud there. You got blue. You got white. You got green. That's like
pink, everything there.
It's a little tie-dye shirt. Right. It's going to look like he tie-dyed his jersey, and that's one of those that you might not come out in the wash either.
Third down and goal from just inside the Champlin Park 10. I'm trying to take every second off this play clock as well. They'll give the ball off to McMillan inside the 5, and Rebels don't want him to get to the end zone. He doesn't, and that is going to run out the clock. What a impressive performance here in the second half by Roseville, really controlling the play after a pretty even first half where the Raiders led by 5, but it was all Roseville in the second half, and they win at 28-7.
Well, and just time of possession too, and they long sustained drives, and really that opening drive of the second half set the tone, John. Over 6.5 minutes, nothing explosive, but just 6 yards, 8 yards. They ran a lot of up the middle with Bouchard, and then they hit him with the play action. So mixed and matched the passing game with the running game, and I leave really impressed with Andrade, which we knew about, but also Victor Yang, Brendan McMillan, great footwork. They got a nice team and very good balance, and a lot of players that made plays both on offense and defense.
Roseville goes to 5-1. They'll play Mounds View next week. Champlin Park now 3-3. They'll take on Centennial in their final regular season home game here next Friday night. That will do it for our telecast. And for Allie Arlt, Ryan Iverson, and all of our crew, I'm John Jacobson. Our final score again tonight from Champlin Park. It's Roseville winning over Champlin Park, 28-7 Raiders, the final.
Thank you.